Say hello.
Hello, guys. How you doing? -2. Where is it -2? Oh, hello, Annette and Mary and Thelma, Diane. Okay, and Mary Glasson, Mary R. Sharma, Betty Gozzle. Hello, everybody. We're going to have fun today. I've been looking forward to this. I think I said this when we loomed it. You know, when you learn how to do something that you think is a real kick, you can't wait to share it with other people. And that's kind of how I feel about this project and how well my hats turned out this time. I have had, I have made so many hats over Christmas. This is what my knitting, you may not realize it's not supposed to look like this, but when you see yours, you'll realize mine's not supposed to look like this. I just made so many that I've kind of worn out my tool. Okay, so how's everybody? Is everybody, hi Laura, everybody getting buried in snow? I know Thelma was getting buried in snow back there. I can probably get by with it, but I just thought if we had another one, I'd bum it. Okay. Can you put the camera on my hands, please?
Yep. Are you ready?
Yep. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at what's in your kit for this class. You get a set of 4 knitting looms. You get a tool, and you get a plastic needle for yarn. Hi, Kathy girl. You also are getting, because I had them, and it was kind of a fun idea book to say, here's where you can go with this from here. It also has really good pictures of stitches in it. I gave everybody in your kit the Loom Crafts Nifty Knitter book. This book alone is supposed to sell for, I believe it's $14.95, but I have a lot of them. So we bundled it right into your kit. So you get this really pretty full color book with project ideas. And like I said, it does a really good job in here of demonstrating how you set things up to do different kinds of stitches on a loom. And I thought that was really neat. So we have the Loom Crafts book. We're not going to use this in class, but I gave it to you because I think it's fun. Let's look at our, and then you have 3 skeins of yarn. Colors vary depending on the color that you bought, but this is the one. Do I have more kits now? I just looked at my wholesaler. I have a wholesaler in Eugene who has them, which isn't far from us. So once I know how many kits I need for sure, oh yes, you absolutely can make other items besides hats. Yes, the kits were sold out, but if you did not get a kit and you want one, hi Irene, after you've seen what we're doing with them today, if you did not get a kit and you want one, write to me at info@simplyspecialcrafts.com. I'm only going to order the number of kits I actually need, because as you can imagine, these are space consuming items and it's not our primary line of crafts. So I'm only going to order what I actually need. If you want one, be sure you tell me your kit price for the set of looms, the Nifty knitting book, the 3 rolls of yarn, and the tools is $24.95. So if you want one, write to me at info@simplyspecialcrafts. I am placing an order, and I will get you one if you want one, but you need to let me know for sure. Okay? All right. Yes, I do have the book separately, Thelma.
And right now we're sold out because we need
What's that?
There's over here.
Do we have?
I'll look. We have more. We just have to get them, and I need it. Margie knew where they were, so I was waiting for her to get here.
Okay. So, okay. Yes, we will have more books. It may not be listed, Thelma, because we grabbed all the books we had inside for the current kits that just went out, but we do have one. Save one for you, we'll do it. I know I have more books. I'm positive of that. So we will get one for you.
They're right here.
Oh, okay. Margie just found some more that had not yet gone back out. So waiting to see a demo before committing. That is absolutely cool, Mary R. I figured there may be some of you who wanted to do that. Let's talk about these looms first and what you're going to use these for. Let me tell you that this one right here, the second size down, is going to be your most commonly used one. This will make a hat for 90% of the population and 90% of the yarns that we'll use. So this is the one we'll use today. This is also the most common one. Although I'm also going to demonstrate to you today with the faux fur yarn, I'm just going to show you what you do differently. This one, the great big loom, is the one we're going to use for the faux fur yarn. Because the yarn is so very heavy for the Nifty knitter, we have to go up a size in order to be able to make the hat. So it's good that we have the larger loom. This one is for making baby caps. This one is for making other kinds of projects that you will see in your book. This is for making small balls and other things that you would use in making other projects. So they all have their specific purposes. And again, that's one of the reasons why I'm giving you the book, is so that you can kind of see what you do with the other supplies. Okay, now let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually, I used to sell Nifty knitters back in the day when they were making them. And this is the loom I'm used to using, although, and it's good because we sold all the loom sets and Susan didn't get hers, but because I have another set sitting here, I have one for Susan to use. So that's good. And she just came in, so Susan is going to be using my orange loom. I'm doing exactly the same thing you're doing, okay? I'm just going to use this green one, and as you can see, they're exactly the same size. So Susan's going to get the new one, and I'm going to use my regular.
Okay.
So here is this. You have mint green and gray, because that's what I have.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to use this one. Now, oh, here is a hook that you are going to need.
There are more books and lending for January.
Okay.
I'm just gonna move.
And what did they put them in at?
I don't know, whatever they want.
Okay.
I'll look.
Okay.
I got one for that.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let's grab our yarn. We will easily be able to finish a cap in the time that we have together. But with that said, we want to not waste any time because I have several things I want to show you. So let's see. I'm going to make a blue and black hat today. One of the techniques I want to show you is changing colors. So say hi, Susan. Everybody's saying hi to you.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, there we go. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead. This yarn, by the way, is so soft and so lovely to work with. You're going to love it. This is washable yarn. What they say about these caps is that you can machine wash gentle on warm and then lay flat to dry. They don't want you to put them in the dryer. So there you go. You don't want to tighten everything up. would be my guess. Okay, let's go ahead. To me, the most difficult part of getting this done, always,
I know what you're
the
gonna
most
say.
difficult part is finding the end of the yarn. That's always my most challenging aspect. But looky there, I found the blue already. Okay, so there's one. We're going to actually, well, let me just start with, no, I actually need both blue to start with. So I'm going to take the, oh, look at that. I found the end right away. So find your two ends.
I think that's the one on the outside. Double check that.
That's okay, isn't it?
Okay. Well,
It
won't
ties
come
up
out
more.
as smoothly. You'll have to roll it all the time.
Okay. All right, I'm going to get a paper bag here, and I'm going to drop both my skeins of yarn into a paper bag. Because that is going to allow me. Now, one thing this yarn does, see how it kind of bunches up on each other? It will be a little bit of a pain to keep those straight as we go, but it's doable. Okay. All right. Here we go. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a slip knot. In order to create a slip knot, we're going to lay our yarn in a little loop. We're going to use two strands at the same time.
Can I use a different color?
I don't care. Yeah. Although I am going to do a solid color brim and then change.
Oh.
So you can do what you want, but we're just going to do a solid color brim and do the okay. So I've got my yarn laid out in my hand in a little circle. I'm going to reach through. Oops, let's see. I'm going to reach through and I'm going to grab that. I want the long piece, and I'm just going to pull it through that loop. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I'm just going to create a little slip knot there. If you didn't get that, I'll do it again. Slip knot will pull right out. Okay, I'm going to create a little loop. Okay, and I'm just going to reach through and I'm going to grab that longer piece. So that's how you get started. Is anybody working directly along with me today?
Me!
Besides Susan. Is anybody working directly along with us, or most of you just observing and chatting today, and then you'll work later? We only need a little tiny end. I probably have more than I need there. I'm going to do that slip knot one more time. There we go. I've got my little loop, and I'm going to reach through my loop, and I'm going to pull that thread right through the center. Okay? All right. And I'm going to end up with a little slip knot. Now, I'm going to put my slip knot on this anchor peg on the side of my loom. You see there? There's a little peg, and it's just an anchor for getting you started. Can you back up just a tad, Margie?
Yep, sure can. No, that's the wrong way.
There we go. There we go. When we get to the actual knitting, I'm going to have you come in closer, but I wanted to just demonstrate where that is on and I'll tell you one thing. I like to kind of keep these out of my way, so I'm trimming those little end pieces fairly short. Okay, so I've got maybe 2 inches on those end pieces. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is called casting on, and come in close for this if you would, please. Are you doing okay over there, Susan?
No, I'm trying to find my end. Aha!
Okay.
I had it.
All right.
Yeah,
Make your slip knot, and then we can go together. And come in fairly close for this,
More?
Margie. Yeah, even more.
It means I'm going to be moving the camera a lot back.
That's okay.
So I apologize.
If I thought of it, I probably should have had you go over my shoulder for this one, but I didn't. This is still going to be fairly easy, though. Okay, you got your slip knot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of.
Tighten that up, and then we're going to start casting on.
have a lot of people that are watching first. Some people that are watching first before they make a final decision on purchase, and then there are a lot of people watching. So
Cool.
sounds like
Love it.
you and Susan this time around.
All right. Okay.
Okay, I'm with you.
All right. Bring your thread to where it's underneath this first peg that's almost behind where we put our slip knot on. And I just want you to wrap, coming underneath that peg, wrap this thread right around that peg. Both strands right around it. See there? Just right around it. Come underneath it and just wrap around. Underneath and wrap around. Underneath and wrap around. And start going all the way around the loom. Now, the most important thing I have to tell you about this, the first and foremost, most important thing, Susan,
I'm listening.
keep this super loose. Do not make this tight. Super duper loose.
Or else you're going to be fighting with your needle.
Or you'll be fighting with your needle and your needle will look like mine.
I was just about to say, oh, that must be the reason why your needle looks like that.
Okay, so super duper loose. It's not going to be sagging, but there's going to be no tension at all on this yarn that we're putting in. This is the most important thing that I can tell you for your success in this project. Keep that super duper loose. No tension at all on it. Now, one of the good ways to avoid having tension on it is to make sure that you pull, periodically, that you're pulling up a nice bit of yarn to work with so that you're not, you have no tension on your line at all. No tension. Super loose. Okay? Super duper loose. You're coming up under them, going over the top, and right on around, all the way around.
Doesn't matter if they get twisted, does it?
No, it does not matter at all if they get twisted. You do want to make sure, however, that every time you go around, you're catching both strands of your yarn. Because if you're not catching both strands of your yarn, when you go back to move it, you'll have a gap on your hat. So you do want to make sure there's always two strands of yarn. If you find that you've missed one, and it's good to just look back. You can look on the inside of your loom and you can see that you caught all the pegs. Make sure you caught all the pegs and that you don't have any places where you have one strand or the other that's skipping a peg. Okay, once you have done that, now I want you to make a second row right over the top of that. See here? I did the first row kind of at the base of the peg. Now I'm coming back and I'm going to put in a second one right over the top of that. And as you work on the second one, you're going to notice that it becomes easier, to just kind of wrap that around there and that you can be a little speedier. But as we're being speedier, make sure that your tension is very loose. You are not getting it too tight. And that you are catching both threads with each peg. And once again, when we finish this round, and I recommend you do this a lot, so that you check on yourself, that we go back and we look, do I have any threads that are skipping the peg? And I do not. So now I'm going to take this piece of yarn that I have right here. I'm going to hold it with my thumb. Okay, you're all right. You're all right.
Yeah.
You need a.
I got a bag.
Do you have a bag to put your yarn in? Okay.
Just a bit tangled. No worries now.
Okay, so all we're doing is just wrapping both pieces. Now, Susan's just finishing that second round, so I'm going to let her catch up here.
talk amongst yourselves.
She says, talk amongst yourselves. Okay, and your loom looks just like this.
Okay.
Now, once we've done that, the very last thread we've done, this one, this peg right here, the very last one we've done, I'm going to come in with my hook. There's a little channel right here in this peg. You feel that? There's a little channel right there. You're going to come in here. You're going to pick up the first of the two loops that you put on there, both threads from the first loop, and you're going to wrap it right over the top of the peg. Let's do that again. Now what that's going to do is it's going to anchor this, so I don't have to hold on to that anymore. Next up, I'm going to come in here with my loop. I'm going to grab this thread and I'm going to pull it right over the top of the top one. I'm taking the bottom one and I'm pulling it right over the top one. See how easily that should come over? This is what will not happen if you have too much tension on here. You'll be struggling to take those stitches over the top. And let me also tell you that your hat can end up being really, really tight instead of loose and comfortable like it should be. Each time, I'm just picking up the two bottom ones and I'm coming over the top. This one will look funny when you first do it. It tightens up automatically as you get the next one. See that? I'm going to put my hook right into the channel and I'm going to pick up my first two threads. Put your hook right into that channel and pick up the first two.
Oh, I've been doing it the wrong side. Okay.
Okay, so now pick up your first, go to the bottom. There's a little channel there. You'll feel your hook goes into it. Slide your hook underneath that first stitch and pull it up over the top. You are now knitting. This is how we are going to create this hat right here. We are grabbing that with our hook in that little channel and we're just bringing it right up over the top. See that?
Yeah.
Any of you on TV have any questions about what we're doing?
On TV.
Well, any of
On
you
YouTube.
on YouTube?
Oh, I missed one of them. I got it. Don't panic.
Don't panic, okay?
No, I'm not panicking.
All right.
I only pulled one of them, but I went back and noticed what I
There
did.
you go. And that's a good point, Susan. Susan said that she realized that she only got one of the two threads, so she went back and just picked up the other thread and took it over the top, which is exactly what you do. Now it looks like this on the inside, because we have our first row of knitting on here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to push all these threads down to the bottom because what was our top stitch is now becoming our bottom stitch. So I'm just taking my fingers and pushing those down, which is easy to do because I didn't put too much tension on them. Does it sound like tension's important? Tension's really important. Just wondering why we're using two strands? Because it makes a full, fluffy, wonderful hat. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the wrapping again. I'm coming under it and back over the top. And I'm just going to go all the way around.
Mary R wants to make sure that you know that she's watching on her big screen TV.
Woohoo!
Or watching on the TV. Quite all right.
Well, I'm watching on a TV too. Yes, it adds thickness so your hat is warmer and more plush. Now, that's a good point, though, about the weight of the yarn, because you can't always do this. Depending on the weight of the yarn that you're using, you can't always use two. Okay, I've wrapped that all the way around. I now have 2 strands. It's okay. You're going to catch up fine because even if it takes you longer, because I do this all the time, Susan. We're doing exactly the same thing for the next 4 inches.
All right.
So I'm going to come to the one I put on last, right behind my hook. Turn this around. This is the one I put on last, right? I'm going to take that bottom thread. This one will be a little bit stiffer, by the way. This very first one will be a little bit stiffer. That's okay. But I took the last one and I put it up over. What that's done is anchor my yarn so it's not slipping anymore. And then I can come back in and start doing the same thing again. We're going to do exactly the same thing. In fact, we're going to do the exact same thing for the next 4 inches. I'm going to add a row to the top, and then I'm going to take the first row over the first loop at the bottom over the one at the top, right on around. Did I tell you this would be easy? I told you this would be easy, didn't I? You're knitting. You're knitting, people. That's it. And as we work here, we're going to begin to see fabric develop. This, what looks like just a couple rows on the inside of our loom, is going to begin to look like fabric here in a minute. And it isn't going to take long for that to happen. This is why I said this will be a good time for you guys to do a lot of chatting and catching up, because we're going to do the same exact thing for the next 4 inches. And I will call attention to it when we're going to do something different. It's been raining and raining and raining and raining and raining and raining, which is not unusual for Oregon, but the density of the rain, the amount of the rain is at the wetness. Susan says the density of the rain is more than we usually get. And so we are flooding all over the country, and my basement is flooded again.
Oh no.
Okay,
That's all right.
I finished my row, and here we go. I'm just going to wind on another one. There is one thing I want you guys to do after this row, and that is we're going to release our anchor over there. Let's get this row done, and then we're going to release the thread that's holding the anchor piece in place. There's one where I missed getting both threads. I went back and fixed it. Putting on a new row so that I can. There we go. I'm going to take this very first peg. I'm going to lift this yarn and I'm going to go over the top, and that's going to hold this in place. Now I don't have to hang on to that anymore. And while we're over here, let's. Hi, Roberta.
Hi, Roberta.
Sorry, I figured. I won't remember.
So I'm going to take this opportunity, since I'm already working right here, to just take my needle and slide my slip knot off, and then pull the knot right out of it, so that I just have some loose things there.
Do you see Mary R's comment?
Mary R., you are a wicked, wicked woman. I love you, but you're a wicked, wicked woman. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take these nice loose stitches, and I'm going to take one over the top of the other. And we're knitting. No knitting needles. We're just picking that thread up and flipping it to the inside. Just as easy as that. Up and in.
Up and over.
Up and over.
Yeah.
Yes, so since this is the second time our basement has flooded, we've actually been having a little bit of problem on the side where the stockroom was not. At the other end of the house, we've been having a little trouble there, but after an inch or two of rain, yes.
Well, everything was so saturated even before the snow, and then once the snow melted off, it has not stopped raining either. So it's just a lot more water than what our ground is used to.
So I talked to a couple of foundation companies today. I called Terra Firma and I called, I think they're national, I'm not sure whether, I'm positive they are, but I think they are. I called two of them. I'm going to take these little loose threads that I have here and I'm going to pull them through underneath my knitting so that those don't get caught up in my stitches. So I'm just pulling them down so they're at the bottom of my what's becoming my cloth here. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my next row on. Don't forget to let that anchor go though, because it will you do it after about 3 rows, usually about 3 rows. It will annoy you and it will pull your stitches funny if you leave it there too long. So after about 3 rows, just let that anchor go. The anchor was only there to give us a starting point. And truly, you wouldn't absolutely have to have an anchor peg, but it's a, you know, it's kind of nice way to get going. Okay, next up, I'm going to take this last stitch I put on becomes the first, or the last one I wound around becomes the first one, because now my thread doesn't try and run away. And I'm just going to pick these up and we're just going to casually, can you go up back just a little bit, Margie, so I don't have to sit forward anymore? Because I'm going to just keep doing the same thing for 4 inches. Just do the same thing for 4 inches. And I'm just going to keep flipping these along. So I'm not worrying as much about showing you what I'm doing unless something notable happens. If I make an error or I find that I didn't do something right, I will stop and show you how to fix it. So when I say I make an error and I don't do something right, that would be like finding that I skipped a thread or I skipped a peg when I was wrapping my thread around. That can be a real pain. But if I do that, and maybe I'll do it on purpose here before long so I can show you how to fix that. But let's just knit for a while first. Let's just be comfortable and just knit.
Mine isn't as neat as yours. You feel like you've got your, mine are a bit, you know what I mean? I know what I mean.
It's going to be beautiful.
Okay, I believe you.
Okay.
That one was a bit tight.
So I'm going to come underneath and I'm just going to wrap. I could have a good inch now. Once you start seeing it appear from the back of your loom, you're getting to where you have an inch or so on. That's kind of exciting when you start seeing it come through the bottom of your loom. And you know that the whole process is working well and it's looking good. Debbie's Ark instead of Noah's Ark. Well, Debbie has enough animals for an ark. Okay. So, whoop. Okay, here's something that happens once in a while. Don't panic. I just pulled out my anchor. So what do I do about that? Well, I put my peg right back in. The pegs are directional. The pegs are directional. The grooved side goes towards me. Why do they make them so they pop out? Because different kinds of projects, sometimes they don't use all of them. I'm taking my wound on roll off and I'm getting back to that stitch because I want to be able to see whether or not I got that wrapped over the top before. It does not appear that it was wrapped over the top before it came out. So I put my peg back in. I check it. It may be in the mailbox, Betty. It probably is. We haven't checked it for a day or two, so I'll ask Grace to check that tonight. Okay, here we go. So I have determined that I'm back to square one with that peg. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start my wrapping again. Now, if a peg comes out, just push it back in and then determine where you were and just rewrap. Now, one reason that my starter peg is the one that fell out is that's the one that gets the most pressure, because remember when I said your first one will be tighter and then all the rest will be loose? But it gets more pressure on that one than the others do. I could and may, because I don't make anything except the little caps, I may actually glue that. You take some super glue and glue that peg in place. But if the pegs pull out, it's not because the loom is defective. It's because they make them so the pegs will come out. So you can do different kinds of projects that require less pegs.
So maybe after you do that and do one right after, you can go back and push your.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just push that down as you go. That is true. Okay, so we're all fixed up there and I'm off and running again. Up and over. This is a really nice, relaxing thing to do while you're watching TV. You can have your feet up.
Sure about that.
You can
I'm a
be
bit
busy.
stressed.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Easy does it. Just don't make a job of it. It's should be light and easy. You're rushing because you're trying to keep up with me, and you don't have to do that.
1, 2 rows.
You're fine.
And I did just pull one through at a time once.
What's that?
I pulled like just one of these through.
Oh,
to make sure you get the two.
Did you were you able to fix it?
Yes.
Okay. Susan said that she discovered where she had only picked up one of the 2 stitches. So I asked, were you able to fix it? And just pulling the other one over the top is great. However, once in a while, you'll find that that's happened and you're already down the road, you know, and it's time to pull these loops over and you have 3. If you find that to be the case, pick up the 3 and just put them right over the top, just like you would otherwise. Is it an error? It's a tiny error.
A mistake.
Yes, Diane, I do sell the looms. I'm doing a special order of looms. We sold out of our loom kits, but I'm doing a special order of looms for those that want them after watching today's. It's going to be $24.95. You get the loom set, the needle, You get the loom hook. You get a Loom Crafts with a Nifty Knitter book, and you get 3 rolls of chenille yarn. If you want one, please write to me. It's easy. Maybe Margie can put that in as a link. info@simplyspecialcrafts.com. I'm placing a special order for the looms. I'd like to place it tomorrow. So please let me know right away if you'd like for me to order you a set, because I'll be happy to do that. Shipping is $6.95, which candidly is less than our cost on shipping these, but most people that order end up ordering other things, so it all comes out in the wash. But $6.95 unless your order's over $69. If it's over $69, shipping is absolutely free. So that's what you could expect to spend. Or you can pick up if you happen to be a local Tigard customer or Portland area customer, like Susan is.
Not good for the English customers.
But that's what you can expect to pay, $24.95 plus $6.95. Or if your order's over $69, then it'll just be your purchases plus any sales tax from your area. We love sales taxes, don't we, Margie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Margie took over doing sales taxes for me, and oh my gosh. Margie made me a t-shirt, Thelma. It says, I'm not a hoarder, I'm a rescuer. I rescue craft supplies.
That's right.
Okay, I finished that row. I'm back to winding another row on top. See our fabric coming out? Look how beautiful that's looking on the inside there, guys. I did not turn Rocky off, did I? And it's one of those good 800 numbers, so you know it's something I need to answer. Yeah, they want me to renew my my car warranty for my 2012 Prius, or they want to announce that I'm a winner from Marriott Rewards, and I'm not a member of Marriott Rewards, or any number of other special things that I should take time out to talk to them about.
They asking me if I wanted to sell my house.
Oh yeah, oh boy, I get those all the time too.
Okay, let's say this was a phone call.
Yep, I get those. See how fast this comes around, and pretty quick. This part you can do really quickly. You know, once you get going with this, you can really lift these stitches over quickly. You'll find that it becomes very mechanical to do this. You'll be tempted to go really, really fast winding your loom. I recommend that you take your time doing that. There's not much you can do to hurt yourself unless a peg falls out. If a peg falls out, that's still a fairly easy fix. But you can just come right up over the top. If you determine after looking through the project book that you really don't see yourself using your looms for anything else, you can always super glue those pegs in if you want to. Okay. Here we go. See how that's looking down there? Very soft, plush, nice. We're going to keep going here. I'm going to wind on another row. So I started to say I called Terra Firma, and I called a second foundation company to have them come out and take what they thought might need to happen to stop the water from coming into our daylight basement. They said, "Oh, we'd be happy to do that. We can see you on January 28th or February like 16th." Ah. So I said, "Nothing sooner than that." And she said, "No, everyone in Oregon with a daylight basement's flooding." Everyone in Oregon with a basement's flooding.
No, no.
You better go down and look.
Oh, you've been down there today.
Oh, you were down today? That's great. Yeah.
I'm trying to clean it
So,
up.
yep. So I guess I'm in good company. So then I called Don, our contractor, and said, I need to clean up this water. Who do you think I should call? Should I call ServPro or somebody else? He said, "Oh my gosh, no." I'll be there this afternoon and Craig and I will clean up the water. So he should be here anytime, I would
Looks like
think.
you've got a gem there.
Our contractor is just the best guy. Don't tell him I said so. He'll
no.
jack my prices up, but he's just the best guy.
You keep up the business.
I do send him a lot of business. In fact, he came here today. He was up in Washington putting new windows in one of our rentals up there today. Yes, in the pouring rain, he was putting in new windows. But sometimes with contractors, you got to take them when you can get them, and I could get him right now.
And it's not like contractors around here aren't used to working in rain. They absolutely are.
So he came back from working for me to work for me. Okay, wind another row on here. We're at about 2.5 inches now. I hear your sigh over there, Susan. It says you're working too hard at this.
1/2 inch.
Are you getting those on too tight?
I think so.
Yeah, you need to loosen that up. You need to loosen that up.
Second row was much too tight. First was good.
Yeah, keep those stitches really relaxed, guys. If you're having to pry at them, they're too tight. Once you put this first one over, then your thread is secured and you can just whip right around here. And see, this should be easy, Susan. See how I'm lifting these and the tension on my line? I have like no tension on my line.
Yeah, I've got a lot.
Yeah. The thing you can do that's going to slow you down is if you get too much tension on there, and you really don't want that. You want a nice, you want it to be soft and easy to pull those over the top. That's going to give you a nice, consistent fabric. The best advice I can give you is keep the tension really light. And again, one of the best ways to do that is to make sure that you have, a surplus of a yard or more of yarn before you head into making your next row. So just pull that yarn, get yourself a nice bit there, and push this all down. Net says, "Loosey goosey, Susan. Loosey goosey." Okay, here we go. Wrapping this. Wrapping, coming underneath, going over the top, and then doing the next one. Nice and loose.
Okay. Come undone a bit.
See, that's why I can go faster, is because it is nice and loose. No tension at all on it. Okay, up and over the top. That first one's a little tighter, and then everything should just pull over. Lean in again here so you guys can see what I'm doing once again. Just grabbing those threads. I put my needle in the little channel there, and I grab that first stitch and just pull it right over the top. Right over the top. Looks like we're getting our refinance done in the nick of time. We're closing on Saturday, and there's talk today about interest rates going up.
Whoa.
So we got it at the nick of time. Biscuit. They had 3 kittens. Biscuit, pork chop, and gravy. Okay. We're getting to a point now we're going to start paying a little bit more attention to how long this is getting. What we're going to be doing next is making the brim to our hat. The brim. We're going to have to figure out a way, Margie, to get right in here where we can see this when we do that.
Okay.
Almost wish I'd had you work over my shoulder this time, but I didn't think about it until it was too late.
Well,
But we'll
technically
figure it out.
wouldn't be too late. It would just be really perky jerky until I got
Okay, I got my stitches wrapped around.
Let me know when you're ready.
Everything's caught. I'm going to do this first stitch up and over, and then I'm going to come around here again. Very loose, Susan.
Yeah, I got lots of it sorted out.
Okay.
Had a bit of a knot in one of the.
If it's just a simple little knot, just go right over the top of it. You don't have to
Yeah.
worry about untying it. But if it's just all gobbed up, then you
Yeah.
have to ungob it.
I'm ungobbing it. I'm still ungobbing.
So I told you I was going to tell you the secret about this yarn. You guys want to know the secret of the yarn?
Secret of the yarn.
The secret of this chenille yarn that is so nice and that I've just been raving about how beautiful it is? You want to know the other reason that we could do these kits so reasonably priced? This yarn is coming from the dollar store. Each of the bundles of yarn, each one of these bundles, $1. So that means that each of these stocking caps is going to cost you about $2. If you want to combine your colors, like we're doing, $3 to make a stocking cap. There's my secret of the yarn. Dollar Tree. For this beautiful chenille, it's very good quality yarn. I can't believe they had it at the Dollar Tree, but they did. And I tried it and I totally loved it. So when you can, safely check your dollar store. And it is really, really nice quality. It's the chenille. This is the one that you want. It's called Just Chenille. And it is beautiful. Its quality is beautiful, Annette. The quality of this yarn is superb. $1 skein. Now, they're not huge skeins. You can see that. They're not huge skeins, but they're going to cost you $2 to $3 to make a hat using this yarn, and it's beautiful. Aren't the colors gorgeous?
So soft.
I wonder if you, because you can order them in bulk and
Yeah.
just do a pickup at the store. I wonder if they come in a mixture of colors or if it will have to be a color.
I don't know the answer to that.
So
That actually would
might
be good to know.
be-
Of course, if I did that, Brittany might kill me. But that actually would
I
be
was
really
thinking
nice
about
to
for
know.
somebody.
Never mind.
I was thinking
It's
more
just a
about
general discussion.
somebody that doesn't want to bear the dollar store may be able to look into purchasing.
Margie's saying that if you don't want to go out and, go to the dollar store, which you would be, it's a wise thing to consider. If you didn't want to do the dollar store, you can order dollar store stuff online.
You just have to buy a minimum of a certain amount of each item.
Can you guys hear her? She's saying you just have to buy a minimum of each item. But if you're doing like I did, I made 30 caps for Christmas this year. I could have used a case of yarn. I pretty much did. I just sent Bryce and Lauren all over Tigard looking for it. I used lots of other yarns too, but they weren't as inexpensive, and candidly, they were no better than this. Do I count how many rows I'm knitting? No, I don't want to work that hard.
It's amazing that you're even using anything that might remotely look like a needle.
I know. Margie says it's totally amazing that I'm even thinking about using something that looks like a needle, because I don't do it. But this is a tool. It's not a needle. And I can do it. And I'm going to show you how to take your hat off the loom without using a needle too. Because I don't want to use a needle. I'm going to use my tool to take this, to cast it off when the time comes, which you will see before too long. Okay, I am going to keep tabs on my little ruler here though. What we're creating right now is the brim of our hat. How are we doing for time, Margie?
You're almost at 5
Okay, well, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. Is it working easier now, Susan?
I'm getting all my wool sorted out.
Okay.
My yarn sorted out. It's a bit.
She's getting all of her wool sorted out over there.
It's all twisted up. Over the top.
Spoken like a real Brit.
Over the top. Over the top. Okay. I can always catch up on the video, can't I?
Yes, you can. You're going to be fine. You're going to relax and have fun with it. You just need to relax. Just don't get tension on your line. As long as you don't have tension on your line, this is fun and relaxing. You get too much tension on there, it's frustrating.
Oh, the tension.
It's very frustrating if you get too much tension on there.
What?
I'm going to have to give Susan a shot of something and reduce her tension.
Yeah. Bring on the sherry. I bought myself a bottle of Harvey's Bristol cream for Christmas. Delicious.
Okay. There we go.
I had it in Fred Meyer's.
Oh, yeah? And what kind of alcohol is that? I don't know.
Sherry, 45
Oh, it's
wine.
sherry. Okay, sherry. Okay. Now see how that kind of looks a little gummed up? Just pull them out.
Oh, I pulled them all off. Get back on. Okay, done it. No, there's only one gone on. Two, that's it. Okay, carry on, relax.
Susan says, carry on. It's time to relax. Her moment of panic is over.
Sure about that.
Panic is subsiding.
Subsided it. Okay. Still got
Now I'll tell you how I hook up like that. This was the hook I showed you first. I'll show you how I bent this up. When I was trying different sizes of yarn on my looms, some sizes of yarns tend to make it more difficult to take it off. If the yarn is too big for the loom that you're using, it can make it difficult to navigate your stitches and keep everything even. And so I only did a couple rows like that, and then I pulled that yarn off and moved up to a different loom.
It's so loose, I'm pulling it over.
That's fine. And loose is good. Even if it looks like it has slack in it, when you do the next stitch, it's going to tighten the last one. So a lot of slack is good. You know, I don't want 3 inches hanging down there behind there, but if you're finding that it's just super easy to pull it over the top, that's exactly what you want. And as I said, the last one you did will tighten up as you do the next one. Okay, I'm going to measure this and see how we're doing. I am going to go ahead and push it down because it'll make it easier to measure. All right. Now you can see I actually don't even need to measure. This is just about right. I will measure it though, just to tell you where we are. We are at 4 inches. Does it sound like I've been making way too many hats? That's 4 inches. Look how beautiful this is, guys. Isn't that pretty? Now, one thing you might notice is that this edge, this beginning edge is kind of floppy. You don't have to change that. In fact, I wanted to make my mom a stocking cap, because of the hair loss and the chemo. I wanted to make my mom one, and she didn't want it to be too hot. So she asked me not to make it real thick. So I made it, one of the things I did to avoid having it get too warm was I did not make a brim on her cap. I just left it loose there along the edge. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a brim for our hat. Now take your yarns and pull them to the outside just to get them out of your way. And we're going to need to come in real close on this, Margie.
Ready?
Yeah. We're going to come down here. We're going to follow one of these down. It doesn't even matter which one. Follow one of these down. Come in real close, please. Okay.
I gotta move cameras.
There we go. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Okay. See how on this very first row of knitting, these are very loose. See that? These are very loose right on the edge, on the very edge of our loom. So what I want you to do is follow a line down from your peg and capture those 2 threads that are very loose at the end. And I want you to wrap those up over the top of your peg. Then I want you to take the next one. It will be easier to find the next one because after you've put the first one on. And all we're going to do is just load that very first line of knitting right onto the pegs. the very first line of knitting. How can I tell which is that first loop? Because that first loop is really loose. It actually has a hole in the middle of it. So it's way easy to find. And just start putting these loops right over the top of your pegs. We're doing this in place of wrapping at this time. We're just taking these loops from the very bottom and we're wrapping them up and over the peg. Can you guys see what we're doing there? Is everybody clear on what we're doing?
Crystal.
Crystal clear. Is it clear as mud?
Oh, crystal.
Crystal clear. Okay. Now, we've come to the beginning. This is where we had those fibers. I want you to take those fibers from the very beginning and I want you to tuck them into that little cavity we just created by taking these loose stitches and pulling them up over the top. And then I want you to find your loose stitches and just keep going. Take the two fibers from the beginning, put them right over the top, up and right over the top, up and over the top. You'll be able to feel where they are. They're the next ones in line, right? As you work your way around, you'll be able to feel which are the loose stitches. They're just the very next one in line, and they are super loose. So we're going to take those super loose stitches and we're just picking them up and we're putting them back on the pegs until we get to the beginning where we started. Now you'll notice I kind of started in the middle. I find it easier to kind of start in the middle. But I did get off somewhere.
Do I need to back up so they can see?
Oh, sorry. I'm getting to the end and I'm finding where I seem to be one short. So I'm just looking to see if I might have picked up the wrong one somewhere. Well, it all looks pretty good. So I don't see anything wrong. Somewhere there must be two stitches together. But I'm going to do what I would do if I were working on this by myself and you weren't here. If I don't see an obvious place that it needed to be quote unquote fixed, I'm just going to share a loop and pull that up over the peg.
Nobody will know.
Okay.
You see.
All right. Now I'm going to show you in just a minute, Glenda, how we change colors. The first thing I'm going to do here, however.
I guess that you can say hi to Emma too, because they're at my
Hi,
house.
Emma, and hi, Glenda. Okay.
Do you need me to
I'm
go
going to
back in
start
again?
back at the beginning. Yeah. Back out a bit. Well, no.
Okay, back out.
Yeah, back out just a little bit. I'm going to show you this way. Come in again. No, I'm sorry, but I can't decide what I want.
I can't.
Come in again. Okay.
Try that.
I'm going to pick up the bottom loop and I'm going to go right over the top of my top loop that I just put in there. Now, I do want to warn you about one thing. These super loose loops will be easier to pull off accidentally as we go, like I just did. So I'm going to put that back on there. I just put it back on my hook or on my peg, and I'm going to come back in and I'm going to grab that again, and I'm going to come up over the top. You sometimes have to use your finger to keep those loose stitches where they belong, okay? You sometimes have to use your finger to kind of keep them in place. I'm finding that it's easier if I just kind of hold that stitch in place with my finger while I get these loose, while I get the bottom one and come up over the top. This is not difficult, guys. It's just a little bit more concentration in this.
Detail oriented.
Yeah, it's a little more detail oriented, but it's not difficult. All I did was pick up that loose stitch, put it on the top of my peg, and now I'm coming underneath and I'm pulling it over the top just as if I were knitting. And what that's doing is doubling my fabric into a band to be around the bottom of my hat.
So Debbie, I want you to read these two statements right here at the bottom between Diane.
I do some of my best crafting late at night. Oh yes.
And Mary R says,
it's lonely when everyone else in the world is asleep.
I can guarantee that won't be true because you're up.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not asleep, guys. I'm probably making hats or designing cards or doing some crazy thing. Even when it's late for you. Chances are I'm still up. If you look at the times my emails come out, you'll know I'm being truthful. Okay, so see what we're doing? We're just using our finger to hold those stitches in place. And we're coming right up over the top. It's easy to pull that top one loose. If you do, just stop, pull the one that you're going over, pull back both of them back onto the peg and just do it again. It's okay.
Okay. Do you want me to back up?
No, I think it's actually good for right now. Finishing that row. Okay. It's actually a little bit normal. I want you to know you're not doing anything wrong. If this is just a little bit misshapen right at the anchor, if this is a little bit misshapen, see how that kind of sticks up a little bit there? It'll kind of resolve itself as we work, but because that first knot is a little bit looser, it tends to get misshapen. See there? Even the stitches are just a little bit looser there. I want you to know that's not you. That's what happens, okay? Now we have this beautiful double row. Isn't that pretty? And we're going to do something fun here. Let's cut just one of the blue strands. Drop that back in my bag. And I'm going to get my black out here. I'm going to find an end, which is not always easy to do.
Back out just a little bit until you get ready to go back in again, or else the ball's just the border.
There we go. I'm going to tie this on. There we go. I'm going to tie this together in just a square knot. So start as if I'm tying my shoes. And then I'm going to go over it again, the opposite direction. And I always like to give it just an extra one, just because. But just a knot, just tie a knot there. And then pull it tight to make sure that your knot is holding. Cut those threads pretty close to the knot, not right on top of the knot, but pretty close to the knot. I am going to do a little maintenance here. I'm going to figure out which ball of yarn I'm still using and which one is no longer needed. And I'm going to take the extra one out, because getting too many balls of yarn in your bag or your box that you're using can result in just really messy threads everywhere. So this seems to be the one that I want. There we go. That's the one I want. That's the one I don't want. I'm taking this one out of my bag. Wind this up and put it away. Just a square knot, Mary R. Yes. Okay, now I think this gets really fun when you have two colors. I'm going to drop these back in my bag now. I got all this extra yarn. I'm going to kind of pull out of my way. And I'm going to resume doing what I was doing before we made the brim on our cap. I'm going to start winding this around. Now, I'm going to run into that knot. I don't care. Just keep going right over the top. Don't worry if the threads change position. What I mean is, if the black crosses over and goes to the bottom, or if the black is on top, it doesn't matter. Make sure you have plenty of yarn available so you're not getting over tightened. Let me know when you get to 4 inches, Susan.
Just about done an inch.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do exactly what I did before. I'm going to reach down here. I'm going to get this stitch. I'm going to pull it over the top. That secures my line so that it's not going to be loosened up on me. And now I can go right back to doing exactly what I was doing before. You might find that this line, this row is just a tad, just a tiny bit tighter than what you've been using, because we're going over a lot of material there when we did that last stitch. But it's still, if we've been using this, if we've been pretty loose with our winding, then it should still generally pull over fairly easily. You might have to ratchet a little bit here and there, but mostly it should go over pretty easily.
If you know you're bending your needle, you are working too hard.
Yes, that is a true statement. If you're bending your noodle.
When I got it, mine was bent.
Well, that's bent right. That's bent right. This is not bent right. But you know what? I actually like the angle of it. I prefer to use this one because it's like it's ergonomic now.
So you mean me digging out the new one wasn't necessary?
I had you pull it out for me just in case this one broke, because I have it pulled so far out of the base that I wasn't sure it wouldn't break at some point. And I didn't want to be sitting here while we looked for an extra one. So that was just a precaution.
My mom wants to know if you can use any weight yarn. And I know we talked about that.
You can use different weights of yarn. I actually, if you would go in, Margie, on the sofa at the end, grab the stocking caps there. I want to illustrate a couple points to people that we can do with those newer hats that I made. Okay, coming underneath. Wrapping, wrapping, wrapping. Now I've got two black and blue rows. It's much easier when you have two different colors to see that you have both threads. I enjoy that. Make sure you're not getting too tight. Keep them loose all the way around. But it is much easier to see that you have two threads there. Now, did I have to make the brim one color and the base of the hat two colors? No, I can make it all one. I can make it all mixed colors. I can do whatever I want. I can make it as many colors as I want. Remember what I said I did? As I started going around the other way, it doesn't matter whether you do clockwise or counterclockwise. I can go around this way. If I just want to change a pace, I can go the other way. I can go clockwise, counterclockwise, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all.
Are these the ones you were talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
So, thank you. I wanted to show you a couple others that I did. Now, excuse me. I think we've talked about the fact that Jake loves wild colors, my son-in-law. His favorites are tie-dyes. So I saw this skein of yarn at the store and I thought, oh, that's perfect. I'll just make him tie-dye. Now, look how thin this is compared to what I've been using. You see those two? You see them there? It's way thinner, isn't it? It's way thinner. As long as I use two strands, I was still able to make a hat. Now, I want to show you something that's really surprised me. This tie-dye came out looking like this because I was using two strands of color at the same time. Now, I think personally this looks like a hot mess. Bryce loved it, and I showed it to Jordan, my daughter, Jake's wife, and she said, Jake's gonna love it, Mom. She's gonna love it. I thought it was a hot mess, but she says Jake's gonna totally love it. But it didn't look like I thought it should look. So then I did it again. And the next time I did it, I used that thinner yarn with white. And this is the same skein of yarn.
Is it really?
It is.
See, that's my favorite hat that you've made.
This is exactly the same skein of yarn.
Isn't that interesting? That's pretty cool, Debbie.
And this is done with the thin yarn and the white chenille together. So I used two different weights of yarn on this too. Why did I do that? Well, because for one thing, I wanted to see what it would look like if I put white in with it and I was only using one. So I was only using one colored strand at a time. And secondly, I wanted to see whether or not you can actually successfully use two different weights. And the answer was yes. I made that work just fine. So two hats, same skein. This is really lightweight yarn. This was actually like a value yarn. This is not as soft. This one, the chenille softened it up with that.
Some people that get hot-headed, I mean, not angry hot-headed, but
yeah,
hot-headed.
This would be a better one because nice, see, it has air holes.
So your mom not wanting to get her head too warm.
Yeah, she might actually prefer one. See, can you see my hand through it?
Not that color though. Not that.
No, my mother would think that was a hot mess too. So there we go. I think I showed you these earlier. That's mostly what I wanted to show you. And then I took some of my leftover yarn and I finger knit it. I wanted to do a cowl that was two colors to match the brim of my hat plus one. So I did half of my cowl in blue and gray and half of it in solid blue using my finger knitting technique. If you didn't see that, go back and look at our video for finger knitting
That
and
was
you'll see
about a year ago?
it was just about a year ago. Yep.
2 years.
So there we go.
Yeah.
So
before-
now I
it was
have.
Before COVID.
Was it before
I think
COVID?
it was 2
Yeah.
years
Okay.
ago because you made me style it for you.
Oh, yes, I
And
did.
you agreed to just take the picture of my neck.
Yeah.
And then you took the whole thing and posted it.
Well, you know, Margie,
No.
give me an inch, I'll take a mile every time. Okay, I think we can go out a little bit again.
Okay, you ready?
So that, I hope that answered your question, Glinda. Yes, you can use lighter weight, and in a minute, well, not in a minute, but after a while here, I'm going to show you. I got to move along here and get this thing done so we can show you how to cast off, and I still have time to show you my other little technique.
You are at 5:30.
I'm at 5:30. Okay, well, I'm gonna knit fairly quickly here for a while. So maybe you can let me know what they're chatting about, and and any questions that come up, and I'm just gonna keep going so I can get to a point where we can cast this off.
Okay.
Finish that row.
Okay, so Diane has 8 cats, but
Oh.
she had one cat that passed away recently. So Kathy Girl says, "Oh, is that what they mean by 9 lives?" So they've been talking pets and late night.
Two things close to my heart. I have 5 cats right now. Actually, I don't. We have 3 cats. Bob has 2, and they're actually separated. But he has 2 very happy kitties because they have his room, which is like 12 by 15, 12 by 16. And then they have their 12 by 20 foot catio. So these cats pretty much have deluxe accommodations. They have the biggest room in the house.
Well, that and when they've been outside, they end up with such pretty coats for the winter time.
Yeah, that's true.
Father, shut up.
Yes, that is true. Which makes me thankful that I'm not in Bob's room.
Yep. They're pretty kitties. And it's so funny. I think I told you guys before, the temperament of his cats have changed entirely while they've been here. I just noticed something. This had 3. Can you come in, Margie? Look.
Yep.
I missed getting one off last time. See there? There's my 2 threads and an extra one. Am I going to go back and take that out? Absolutely not. I'm going to flip that right up over the top, and I'm just going to move all 3 threads. Okay?
I've got an inch done now.
Yay!
You're doing great.
Okay.
Much better than I would do.
You got way more than an inch there.
Right.
Yeah, you're going on 2. So you're about halfway to your brim. You're doing fine.
I came across my knitting Jenny from when I was a little kid, and I kept it.
And what is that?
It's an elongated, but same concept.
Oh, okay.
But it was elongated, and it's made out of plastic, and
Okay.
it's about that long.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was a kid's thing. And
So you make scarves and stuff with? Was it a
you
kind of
would
a
have
loom?
to ask my mom what I made because I honestly don't remember. I just know that
I know there was
I
a
still
square
have it.
one that was about that big that we used to make pot holders with those loops.
I am sure that probably happened.
I had a wooden bobbin that you got from the center of your cotton, and Dad put nails in the top. And
Oh, I
I'd wind
remember
it
that.
The
Yeah.
to come
Pirelli.
out like just a long line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. So you make your own little loom, tiny
Yeah.
loom for.
With the wooden. Lucy elastic.
Loose. Keep it loose.
Okay. Someone's got a squeaky chair. Oh, I got another kitty litter box. I got one of my old ones in with the front opening.
Oh, uh-huh.
She's
Oh,
not been peeing, and she's been coming for loves a lot more.
oh, good.
I think she thought she was being naughty and she wasn't coming to me very much.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it was that easy.
Yeah.
I was starting to say that Bob's cat's temperament has changed since they've been here. One of them's always been super lovable. The other one has just been skittish as the day is long. She just a very, very nervous cat, and she's always been loved and cared for. She just was one of those cats that was just super skittish and hid all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been like that since she was a baby. Now that she's here and she has Bob's room and that catio and her own established space, she loves to hang out on the very top rung of his big cat trees out there. That cat has totally changed her personality. She is lovable and sweet, and she comes to him the minute he comes out there. And she doesn't hide anymore unless she's afraid of something. The other day for New Year's, people were setting off fireworks all around us, so she hid then. But other than that time when there's a reason for her to hide, she doesn't hide anymore. She's just the happiest cat, and you can talk to her and she'll roll and respond to your voice. It's just so cute.
Yeah, Emma got up and decided that she was going to go visit my mom in the middle of the night for New Year's because
the fireworks scared her.
She just said, I just can't sleep, so I cleaned my room for a little while.
Oh.
Something wrong with that girl? Cleaning her room?
She has a new bed and a new setup, and so it's a little bit easier to clean, and so she's wanting to keep it clean so that she can add some more items back into her room.
I was joking.
So that no. I just know that she's loving it, and that's what makes me excited is that she's loving that. And she'll say things like, I didn't know that I had this. Or, I need to keep this clean so I know where it's at. So it was really neat to see that she's gaining that learning experience.
Now, if you could just teach me that.
Yeah.
I know.
That's a never ending.
Do you guys hear the abuse I'm taking? Can you guys hear this abuse?
It's well earned.
What's that thing about the dog tricks?
Oh!
That's below the belt.
Oh, just a little tease. Hey, I have trouble learning new tricks too.
Okay, let's take a look here. Look what's happening. Look at our beautiful fabric we're making now. Isn't that pretty? Ooh. All right. Here we go. Once you get experienced at this, guys, you can whip one of these hats together in a couple hours.
Okay.
That all depends on having it loose enough.
Yeah, I am getting along a lot
Diane
better.
says that
Good.
that's looking really cool. Looking good, Debbie, JR said.
Yeah, we're developing a really pretty fabric in here now. I'll push it down so you can see it better after this row. I don't know. It might be necessary to push our demonstration of the of the faux fur to Saturday when we do our cards, taking a few minutes to recap this and work on that. Let's talk a little bit about what we've done so far. So far, we've talked about yarns and the weights of yarns. We've ascertained that you can use lighter and heavier yarns together. I wouldn't go so far as taking a thin and then like the faux fur, but you can use a thin and a kind of medium weight like the chenille together. We have
Look at
looked
mine,
at
mine.
here's Susan's. It's looking good, Susan. Looky here, you're getting there. And look at that pretty fabric she's developing in that minty. That's beautiful. Okay. We have determined that you can we talked about the looms and the sizes of the looms and what we use them for. We know that this green one well, I'm using the green. Susan's actually using the orange, and that's the color you'll be using. The orange one is the one that out of your sets that you're going to use the most. It's the second largest one in this set, just for as a frame of reference, guys. Now look here. Look how pretty that's turning out.
In order to show cast off, you could always make that into a cow, like a fake
but
turtleneck or something to show cast off.
yeah, no, I'm going to get it as far as I can. I may not make the full cap, but I'd like to if I can, just so you can see the whole thing. But we'll see. We'll see where we are in a half an hour. How's our time? They'll put me about 6, a little after.
6:40.
It's 6.
5:40.
Oh, okay.
I was
Ooh.
gonna say, where's the time?
Oh, yeah, you terrified
In
me.
like 15 minutes.
Must have fallen asleep somewhere.
Brittany's fault.
It's all
Leave
Brittany's fault.
Brittany alone, you. Did you hear that, Brittany? She's too quiet over there.
Dennis is giving Brittany a bad time here, guys. Two quiet people harassing one another. I love this. She does fight back, though, Dennis. I should tell you that.
Yes.
I can tell you. She gets me all the time. I make you sound like a slave driver, Brittany. She's kind of over there. Yeah, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to keep you in line. I will also say that the chunkier the yarn that you use, the less rows you have to knit. When we do a hat using the faux fur, it has maybe half as many rows in total because it's so much thicker and you progress through the rows so fast. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead with you guys' permission, and let's just say for sure that we're going to do that we'll do the faux fur. We could even just do a faux fur one on, well, I don't know. Well, maybe we should.
Maybe next Thursday?
I was just going to say maybe we could just move faux fur to Saturday, but I don't know if we want to do that. We could do another one on Thursday, though, and do faux fur if you guys want to. You guys will have to decide what you want to do, but in any case, I think I'll reserve. It's taking a little longer than I thought because I'm walking through it, talking through everything.
Betty's heading out for the night.
Okay, good night, Betty. Come back and see how we finish it off, okay? Have a good sleep. I'm actually making really good progress. I've got about 3 inches, maybe 4 inches. I want this to be 8 inches long, the entire cap to be 8 inches long when I take it off.
Mary R wants to know what you are doing on Saturday.
We're doing the first of our Valentine's cards. We're doing Tattered Lace issue 88.
You know that Valentine's Day is next Friday.
It's the 14th of February. We're not even at.
February. Just kidding. You're good. Ignore me. I only
See
look
what you
the
do
day
when you
before.
wake her up?
Yeah, we're doing Tattered Lace.
The shops are full of hearts
It's the
and
music
chocolates.
and birds, right?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Okay, I'll need a
Beautiful.
set to take home.
Beautiful. I haven't made the cards yet.
She's
Okay.
been asleep over there. Don't
You
bother
can
her.
take the magazine, probably, and use some of the stuff you already have.
You could do that if you wanted to. But I haven't made the kit for Saturday yet. I haven't made the cards up, so I don't know what we're going to do. I was going to try to do that today, but between,
Your flooded basement and
yes, I stayed up late like I always do, getting the newsletter out, one thing and another. I came to bed, my mind was racing, didn't go right to sleep. About 6, I finally drifted off, and at 8 o'clock, the phone rang, and it was Bryce telling me the basement was flooded. And then I spent the next 2 hours, 2+ hours, on the phone with contractors and the foundation people and one person and another, trying to resolve that. And on the phone working with the mortgage company about closing on Saturday. And I didn't go back to sleep until, I don't even know, it was close to noon. I don't know where that story all came from. I can't remember what we were talking about.
not
Why you
having
hadn't
done
made
the
your
card.
Oh, why I didn't get the cards done. Yeah. Because I didn't get up. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Diane wants to know if you had a lot of rain. Is that why it's flooded?
Yes, we've had an extreme amount of rain in the last week. We had the snow, and we had a couple inches of snow, and that melted. And then torrential rains have followed that. Every day we've had lots of rain, an inch or more of rain every day. And so the ground there's just nowhere for the water to go. The ground is saturated and there's nowhere for the water to go. So it just seeks its own level and it comes in. And we live on a little bit of a hill. We're on a hill, and then our position on the hill is on the downward slope. So the rain and water accumulation from the other properties kind of ends up here too. So we're in kind of a bad position, although we have.
I think that sump pump, that secondary sump pump is going to be a good idea.
We have like 59, I think that's what it was, dump truck loads of gravel in the back area here behind our house, where when they built it, they put in gravel and gravel and gravel and gravel and gravel and gravel and gravel to hold the soil. Knock on wood, we have never had any issues with any kind of sliding or anything. It's just that it's all level out there, and then it drops off a bank behind, probably, what is that, Margie? Maybe 30 feet, 30, 40 feet behind the house. It drops off into a sloping bank and goes down. And
Definitely.
so, in last winter, after the shop flooded, we put in drainage field out there to hopefully evacuate all that water and dump it over the bank. But for some reason, and it may just be that there's just too much accumulation even for that to handle it, it has accumulated in and around the foundation and under the house again, and it's rising once again. So we'll have to figure out what we need to do on a more permanent basis. They may need to put a pumping system or something in there.
Well, and last year you had those French drains dug, and they thought that that was going to do the trick.
We did,
right?
and they did do it until the last 2 days.
This crazy amount.
And then there's just crazy amount of precipitation just overpowered it.
Heaps of sprinkles.
I don't know that it's sprinkled.
It's heaps anyway.
It is
I don't know. It'd be
definitely-
interesting to know how many inches of rain we've had in the last week.
And that says sump pump, exclamation, exclamation, and it helped with their flooding.
We actually have a sump pump out front of our house that comes on automatically when the water starts to accumulate at the corner of the house up there. You just have to figure out where the correct location for said pumps is and set them up to start working.
Well, I tell you, that water alarm that I had no idea existed has really helped keep it from going too awry this time around.
Brittany's fault. Pees too much.
Dennis says it's all Brittany's fault.
Don't add anything.
You've got that drinking cup over there. She keeps drinking out of it.
Gotta keep hydrated.
Dennis is usually really quiet today. Quiet, guys. I'm getting quite a kick out of him teasing Brittany here.
You tested your blood sugar level.
Getting worse.
Your glucose level must be way up.
Oh, I love it, Dennis. I like to see you joining in.
I just like picking on Brittany because she's over there all quiet.
Don't get her riled up, you'll regret it.
What's she gonna do? Come over and beat me up?
Yeah.
Yes.
In a word, yes.
Little man type me.
Sorry.
Diane says, poor Brittany.
Thanks, Diane.
Whitney.
And Mary R says, come on, Britt, we're rooting for you.
Okay, I'm going to measure this and see how we're doing here.
Got my border done yet then.
Well, you're working too slow.
You can just
I can just what?
He's in
Decorum.
rare form.
He is in rare form today.
This needle might just suddenly slip. This hook thing. See? Catch it up your nose.
Okay, let's see how we're doing here. We are now at 5.5 inches. We only have 2.5 inches to go. And we're making great progress.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Go stand in the corner.
I'll come tie you up with this yarn.
You and whose army?
Brittany and Susan and Margie and Emma and Glenda.
We'll have a cheering squad online.
Teddy. We'll send Teddy in to finish you off. Lick you to death.
That'll melt him.
Teddy probably would be with you.
He'll be on your side.
Yeah, Teddy loves you.
Yes, I had to give the required amount of loves when I ran in to get the hats.
Oh, you weren't allowed to pass
That's why
without
it
the
took
required
a little
loves.
bit longer because he kept sticking his little face every time I was looking for where the hats were on the edge.
Isn't that something with that tie-dyed yarn? How that turned out? I can't believe how that turned out.
That's pretty amazing.
I wanted to do one. I actually think there's enough on that skein to do another one in black with the tie-dye. I think that would be interesting because it would really make those colors pop.
Okay.
And that says, "Be careful, Dennis. You're in a den of lionesses."
Yeah.
One lion in a den of lionesses.
Teddy, come help me.
He's calling for Ted to help him. Oh. Teddy, when Bryce came in to wake me up, tell me that I had class in an hour, I better get up. And Ted and Taz, the cat, his nemesis, came in to the room together. And Teddy was playing King of the Hill. Taz clearly wanted to get up on the bed, but Ted came ripping through the door and jumped up on the bed. And then he jumped down, and then he jumped up, and then he jumped down, and then he barked at the cat and ran around. Yeah, I'm on the bed, and you're not. And then he jumped down, and then he jumped up, and he jumped down, and he jumped up, and then he barked at me because he wanted me to slap my hand on the bed so he could, reach under the covers and make the covers move because he thinks that's a really fun game. And all the time, Taz was just sitting there scowling at him.
If Teddy is going to be with Dennis in this fight, Mary R says it looks like she's packing up the dog for shipping. And could it be I get my wish and Teddy is coming to visit? I'm gonna say probably not. Teddy just wouldn't know any better, would he?
Susan comes in and wakes me up, and Bonnie, one of our cats, comes up and jumps on the bed and wants to be petted.
And that wants to put you right back to sleep, doesn't it? When the cat comes and curls up with you.
She likes getting on the pillow behind your head.
Oh.
That's when she sleeps.
Teddy can put me right back to sleep too. He will come in and he's supposed to be waking me up, which he sometimes will do, but just as often, if Bryce puts him in the room to wake me up, he'll come and snuggle, and then I'm happy to go right back to sleep. A little red snuggler with me.
Yeah, George is a snugger. Clyde's got to have his head on you somewhere. If you're sitting in a chair, he's got to have his head on your foot or leaning against your leg.
Teddy does that too. He wants to touch you.
Yeah.
Bryce thinks that's a little unfair. When Teddy goes to bed with him, Teddy just takes over my side of the bed until I come to bed. But when I come to bed, Teddy wants to use me as a pillow. He wants to snuggle in, and he snuggles with me even though we're both in bed. And Bryce doesn't quite understand why Teddy will favor me there. Probably because I'm not as restless a sleeper as he is. I tend to find a position and pretty much stay there. He is a wild thing. He's all over the place. So Teddy thinks that it's nice to snuggle with his mommy. And I sleep hot. So I think he likes the warmth too. In fact, I can always tell when he gets over warm because then he moves away from me. Biscuit's trying to get on your head right now. We haven't heard any of Thelma's naughty kitty stories tonight. Wonder if Thelma's still out there. I haven't seen you, Thelma. She went after tea. I hope her power didn't go out. She was worried about that since they were supposed to get like 20 inches of snow.
Where's Thelma?
In Michigan. How much snow some of the rest of you have? I saw that there were storm warnings where Jordan is in Connecticut. I think it's kind of getting it all over the East Coast though, right? I can always tell I'm getting closer when I have to kind of bunch this up to hold my loom. It's beginning to feel closer now. Yeah, I can especially tell when Teddy's feeling cold because when I go in to go to bed, he's under the covers. I know that grosses some people out, but I
George
don't
like
care.
buries her nose,
Yeah.
her head. She like the light hurts her eyes. Her head. Oh, there's George. Debbie.
Oh,
Where eyes sparkle.
this is George.
You got to love her, hug her, and kiss her, and call her George.
Okay.
What's your phone? Yes, have your phone back.
And George is a fox terrier.
A fox terrier.
They
Okay.
call them a rat terrier, I think, over here.
She's like a Jack Russell, except she's on stilts.
A Jack Russell on stilts.
She's got really long legs. She's built for speed.
Not like me. That's enough
Yes,
from you.
That was Susan's puppy, George.
Picture of Clyde. I don't know why.
He's a little stink bum. Sit for a picture. He's a Toto dog.
Who is he? What's his name?
Toto. What is Clyde?
Clyde.
Yeah.
They also have a Toto dog named Clyde.
Except he's cannon color. They call it Wheaton.
Oh, a Wheaton Terrier?
No, he's a Cairn Terrier, but he's
A
Wheaten
Cairn.
in colour.
Oh, a Cairn Terrier that's Wheaton in color. Oh.
Yeah, Toto was black and silver.
That was like our first dog, Tuppence.
Oh,
Tuppence.
yeah.
I
She
like
wasn't worth 2 cents.
that.
Cost us a bloody cost us a fortune. Because she was in the truck with us. I had her groomed every 2 weeks.
Oh my.
Because I wanted her nice and clean, you know, because 12-foot square little living space.
And she had her own pillow too.
Yeah. And at the end of
I
the
bet
day,
that was fun to have her with you on the road, though.
it was quite fun. We thought it was the Qualcomm was how you connect, you know, to head office dispatch. And we thought we were going over to the East Coast, so it was like 3 days. And a couple of days into this, as we got towards Nashville, I'm thinking, it's really quiet. And then we get a phone call from our dispatcher saying they couldn't get hold of us. And we looked at the Qualcomm wires, and there's all dog teeth in them. She chewed through the wires.
No.
Keep them quiet. They won't disturb you. Yeah. That was all she did, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do very much damage. And then she was only a puppy. Little puppy. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Why is that doing that?
Because you didn't release your.
Oh, okay then.
You have to release this.
Okay, that's good. That's released now.
That's released now.
I must have missed that bit. Sorry.
Okay. Kim told a story. What was the story?
I'm packing cards. Give me just a second. I will look.
Is that 4 inches, do you think?
Here's a ruler. Yeah, you're actually just about right. Go ahead and start looping the bottom up to create the brim.
2 loops.
Kim said, I wonder what our conversation would look like if we pulled out pieces of conversation, random bits. Bryce is a wild thing and is all over the place. And he sleeps in a hot bed with Teddy.
Hi, Pam. Oh, that's funny. Are you doing okay putting the little loops on?
The big loops.
Yeah, the big floppy loops. That's the ones you're putting over your
The pegs, yeah.
over the pegs, and then you're going to cut the anchor line a little shorter and just tuck that in the little cavity between, you know, that's created, the little void in the middle there that's created when you fold that back. And tuck
then you
that
pull
in
the
there.
bottom one over like normal. when it's
Yes,
gone round.
exactly.
Okay. I knew that.
Kathy said that since December 27th, there's been neighbors that are still running their generators because that's when the power went off. December 27th till now.
Oh no! Wow.
That sounds familiar.
And where is
Last
Kathy
year-
again?
I'm not positive.
Where are you again, Kathy? I was worried for a while.
Diane asked that question.
Oh. I was worried for a while you were in Colorado. Somebody we know is. Well, that fire up there was something, wasn't it? Nevada City, California.
Been there.
Look up the carnage on the internet.
Okay, look here, guys. We're getting there. Let's see. I need the ruler back, Susan. Thank you. Okay, we're now at just under 7 inches. I have 1 inch to go, which I think is probably going to be about 5 rows. And then we'll cast off and finish this thing.
Yeah, mountains of trees being hauled off by logging trucks nonstop, and the pile is growing daily. Are you guys under an ice storm or is it just snow? Wind or snow? Or rain? Landslide?
If you got snow, you can keep it. Hold the noise down over there.
Fix that.
Are you finding good stuff for us for next week, Brittany?
Well, I just did another box of stickers.
Oh, we're having more star form next week. Okay.
And other than that, I'm out of things. So
You could go ahead and do those tattered lace ones we talked about that there was no hurry. You already did those?
yeah.
Okay. Another one of those that I had 3 loops on. Yes. Oh.
More work. Sit down,
She's
get
getting spoiled because I haven't had orders coming in.
Just kidding, it's a return.
Oh. Well, you can go ahead and take care of that.
What'd you do with the end you cut off? You tied the other colour onto there.
Yes. Tie your second color onto. I haven't mentioned it today. For anybody who did not see What's New Wednesday last night, we have a flash sale happening where every item in the store, regular and sale price, is 10% off. So if you've been thinking about making a bigger purchase like a Caterpillar machine or, a trimmer or one of those machine bundles or lots of stickers or whatever, every single item, regular and sale price, is discounted additionally right now.
Did you do the ribbon bags?
Yes.
Okay. I'll look in there tonight. Tomorrow. It's still on tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. It goes until midnight tomorrow.
Okay.
The sale goes till midnight tomorrow, guys. This is quiet. It's never quiet in here. Always chatting about something. What are they saying online, Margie?
They were discussing how you could save $10 on your Caterpillar.
Okay.
And Annette says, yes, the last ice storm, James spent 54 hours stuck in his truck on the highway. My daughter got stranded at work. It was a nightmare.
Oh, no.
Pam said I got to check my cart so I don't lose the discount and get my hat kit.
Okay. If you didn't get your hat kit yet, Pam, it may give you a hard time checking out because it won't save it in your cart if it sells out and somebody pays first, they get it. But if you have to take it out of your cart to check out, which you probably will have to do, write to me, info@simplyspecialcrafts.com. Tell me you want one, and I will add you to the order for them. I don't want you to lose out, and it's not going to take long to get those in because, like I said, they're coming from Eugene, which is right here in Oregon.
Been
So-
there.
it won't take long to get those loom kits back in, but I only want to order as many as we need. You guys might have noticed I'm not ordering as much right now because it is that time of year when we have to reconcile our inventory and figure out where we are, and that is a lot of work, and I don't need to bring in a bunch of stuff to count and contend with. So this time of year we don't bring in as many new things. Starting in February or so, we'll crank back up the machines again. I will say that there hasn't been much offered from Hunky Dory because Britain is really sucked in with COVID. On a per capita basis, they actually have COVID worse than we have. How?
It won't take long.
And so most everybody in Britain is working at home these days, which is not conducive to getting a lot of production work and stuff done. But there is one kit they have out there. I have not ordered it, candidly. It's called something memory. No, I can't think. It's like Life Special Moments or something. But it's one of those all the holidays of the year kits. And I can tell you, those just really don't sell well. And they don't tend to have, in my opinion, they don't tend to have Hunky Dory's very best artwork in those special occasion kind of card kits. So I don't know if I'm going to order that one at all. I took a look through the contents and was somewhat unimpressed. Now, sometimes they look better in person than they look online, but the problem with that is that customers have to rely mostly on what they see online. And they just really historically have not sold well for us. So I'm kind of waiting for the next good thing to come out of Hunky Dory. We do have some more Valentine's kits we're working on, so we'll have more Valentines over the next couple of weeks.
Good for me.
Keeping hydrated.
Make you pee.
Yes.
You are correct.
I'll take you anyway. There's people online. Nice people. Not like you.
I'm nice.
Yes, I agree with you, Kim. People are looking for thinking of you, caring, encouragement. Yes, I completely agree with you that that's what people are looking for. Okay, we are just about there, guys. I think I might put one, maybe two more rows on, and I think we're going to be good. And then we'll start casting it off. How are we doing for time?
We are at 6:15.
6:15. Good. We should be. We're actually in pretty good shape then.
You're behind schedule.
I know. Shut up. I've done my rim.
Okay, you're doing great then.
Yeah.
It looks to me like you're working pretty hard at that. You got that too tight?
Well, that first one, because it's
The first one after the rim takes a little more effort. It does. That's true.
not better than I was.
Well, and think about it. How many of these hats have you made in the past couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Weeks?
Many.
So
Many.
through them pretty quick because she's had that practice.
Okay.
So don't feel.
Yeah, you're not
like you need to
comparing
rush.
to where I am on this. You're not. I
It's not
said I
fair to
was
you.
going to take off and work fast so that I could show you all the steps, but you don't have to be done by the time that we're done with class.
Oh, I can take it home.
Of course you can.
No, you can't.
Oh, shush.
She's always telling me to shush.
What's got into you today?
Shut up, you.
This guy is just wild today. Dennis is always so quiet. I'm always trying to get him to say something. Today he is just really on it.
Won't take you out anymore. Bring you here again.
Who brings who here?
I won't let you drive me here anymore.
Oh, it's such a pleasure for him to have to drive
Come
you
out in
here.
the rain.
I'll make you run in front of the car. Drag you from behind.
What color hat kits are there? You know, I will know that when I send my crew out in search of more chenille yarn. All we had was sold out. I guess I'd ask you, Pam, what color would you like? And I will attempt to accommodate, but you kind of might get what you get too, depending on what's available.
Purple.
We had, last time we had blue and black. That's the one I'm doing. We had the green that Susan's using with charcoal gray, and that's really pretty. We had pink and white together. Yeah, this is the pink. And then we put this with white. That'd also be really pretty with black, but I don't know what colors for sure we'll find. There was yellow. I didn't make any kits out of yellow. So those are the choices of colors that we found in the chenille yarn. I'm going to have to extend our search radius out a little bit to some of the other Dollar Trees and get some more yarn. Surprised me. Love all the colors. Okay, that's easy. Be sure you write to me so I put you on the list. Would you do that for me? Info@Simply Special Crafts. Be sure you write to me. Anybody who wants a loom kit, write to me soon so I can get those on order and get those in for everybody. I'd like to get them here in the next week or so. So be sure you write to me if you want one. You don't want to miss the order. Info@Simply Special Crafts. Okay, that is looking good. That's about where I want it right there, guys. Okay, now I have to wipe these glasses a little bit. I've pushed them up on my nose so many times that I have very fuzzy looking glasses. There. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to cast off.
We're not on a boat. You don't cast off.
Oh, we might cast you off.
Definitely. Throw you out the window.
We might cast Dennis off.
I'll break the window if you throw me out it.
Important goings on now.
Okay. I pushed all these loops down. I actually kind of wanted this last row. The loops should be up at the top. So I'm pushing the loops back to where they belong.
Do you want me to telescope in?
Yes. So the first thing I did was push my loops back up where they belong because I've determined that we're going to go ahead and cast off now.
If you didn't know that before.
Now, I'm going to take my thread. I want to determine where I want to cut it. Oh, I think
Right
I want to
there.
cut it right there because that's right there where I ran out of the blue yarn. That's fun. I'm going to cut it right there. Basically, you want a length of yarn that you can use to do the casting off. And we're going to take this yarn that we just cut and we're going to lay this right along the front of our loom as if this was wrapped around here. Now, This is how we're going to cast this off. I'll tell you what it is that we're doing, and then you can see how I'm doing it. Some people like to use the little needle that comes in your kit, thread your yarn through, and then just put your yarn through and pull the stitches off. I don't use needles. So this is how we're going to do this. Come in even closer, Margie.
Can we move your hands so that I'm not right behind it? Other way. There you go.
Okay. Here is my working thread. I've already cut it. It's about approximately the distance around the loom. I ran out of blue, like 3 inches ahead. I don't care about that. That's long enough. So I used up my blue skein entirely. But now, once I've cut my yarn, I'm going to start slipping these stitches off. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my yarn along the front of my loom. See there how it's laying across the front? And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to come through that stitch. I'm going to turn my hook around so it's in that channel. And I'm going to pull that working thread through. In doing that, a lot of the time it's going to pull it right off the loom when you do that. It's not bad. All I'm doing is putting this working yarn through the middle of my stitches. So let's do it again. I'm going to come down here with my hook. I'm coming through that. I'm turning my hook around into the channel, and I'm going to use that to pull my working yarn through. And in doing that, it will probably, 99% of the time, it will pull off the stitch while you're doing that. I'm going to do it again. I'm coming down through my stitch. I'm going to grab that working yarn, and I'm going to pull it back through, coming right through the middle of that stitch. I'm going to come to my next stitch. I'm going to come here. I'm going to grab that working yarn, and I'm going to pull it back. And I'm going to pull each time I'm pulling my, oh, sorry, Annette. Thank you for letting me know I was going off camera. I'm going to reach through. I'm going to pull. I'm going to find that working yarn. I'm going to pull it. And in doing so, I'm going to pull that stitch right off my loom. Let's do it again. I'm going to reach through. I'm going to grab that working yarn. If I run my needle right down that channel, it makes it easy to pull it off. And I'm pulling off the stitch at the same time. This is what you have happening with the stuff that's coming off. Okay? If it looks like that, you're not doing anything wrong. Okay. All right, next. What this is going to allow me to do is gather this at the top, guys. I'm coming down through. I'm grabbing that working yarn, and I'm pulling it right through that stitch. Now notice that sometimes I finish off pulling that through with my fingers. You can do that. Reach through, grab that working yarn, and pull it out. Reach through, grab that working yarn, pull it through. Reach through, grab that working yarn, and pull it through. Reach through, grab that working yarn, and pull it through. reach through, grab that working yarn, and pull it through. See how easy this is, guys?
No.
We're just going to reach through, grab that thread, and pull it through. Reach through, grab that working yarn, and pull it through. If you ever pull a stitch off accidentally, no worry. Just shove your working yarn through the loop that pulled off accidentally. Because that's all we're doing with this little process I'm doing right now, is I'm pulling my working yarn through the middle of this loop that I'm taking off, aren't I? And this is what's going to allow me to gather my hat at the top.
Pam says, my husband just walked by and said, don't make me a hat, honey.
Don't make me a hat?
With the hat, honey. So, honey, don't make me a hat.
Yeah, he'll be so envious when you have yours and you're so warm and
She
cozy.
said that she was making it for her.
Okay.
Kim wants to know if that's a tight pull.
Is it what? Is it
When
a
you
tight pull?
Is it tight or is it?
No, it's very loose right now, but when we go to gather it, it will be a tight pull. It doesn't matter if it gathers a little bit now. It really doesn't matter. But I'm just working loosely right now just to take it easy on myself. No sense putting more energy into it than I have to. I'm pulling the threads through. I'm about 2/3 of the way done now, working my way around, taking it off the loom.
Mary Ann makes a good point. You could use the little loom to make hats for kids in need.
Yes, you could.
All those little babies.
Yep. You absolutely could. And hats for the homeless and things too, you know, especially when you can make them for $2 to $3 a piece, you know. See how much we have left? We don't have much at all. We're getting there. What are you guys thinking about this? Are you guys thinking this is as easy as I said it would be? Is this, or nurseries? Yes, absolutely. For preemies, you may even want to go down a size in the looms and use that smallest loom that I talked about to make preemie hats. The smallest loom in your set.
Pam says, that's right, Deb. I'll be warm and cute, and Steve will be cold. With an emoji with the tongue sticking out. And Mary says, yes, so far. And Annette says, very easy.
Doing the hat is a lot easier than untangling this mess I've got myself.
Oh. Well, I'll help you when we're done and off the air if you need it. Okay. We're almost there. Down to the last 4 stitches. Three. Feel like we're blasting off.
2.
2. 1. Houston, we have ignition. There we go. Our hat is now off the loom. There we go. That's what it looks like. So Kim's right. Right now I have a hat with a hole in the top. Now it's a final countdown. How come I suddenly have the need to sing that song? Now what I want you to do is take these threads, push them through the hole in the hat, and turn the hat inside out. One of the tutorials I was watching said a lot of people like these to have this look. If you like that look, you can wear it that way. Drum roll. Yes. Okay. Now,
Ta-da.
when you ask, is it a tight pull or a loose pull? It's going to be a tight pull, but there's one thing I want you to do first. Take one of your two threads, I don't care which one. Take one of your two threads and go across the hole like that. See there? It doesn't have to be to a specific location, just across the hole. Now, we're going to start tightening this up. Pull and pull and pull till it's tight. And what we did by taking one of our threads across the hole is we gave ourselves a place to tie it off, didn't we? So we're going to tie a square knot, just like I'm tying my shoes. And then the other way. Tie a couple extra little loops in there, it won't hurt. It always makes me feel more secure by just putting a couple extra little ties in it.
I happily do that. Debbie says that your hair's so thick that you don't need to close the hole for a ponytail.
Good point. Okay, now this is what it looks like inside. There we go. And I've got these two strands. I'm going to cut those. I'll give it about, a quarter of an inch there, just to have a little extra buffer. I'll turn my hat right side out. And looky here, guys. How pretty is that? It's all nice and even. When it gathers, it tends to gather really nicely. How pretty. And it's infinitely pettable. That chenille just makes it so soft and so easy. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Elders in homes and hospitals. Yes, Roberta. Wow. Okay, let's see what it looks like on. With all my hair.
Wait, you turned it inside out? To tie it, she turned it inside out, and then she flipped it back so that you can wear it. But you can flip it either direction and tie
You can,
from
yes, whichever way you want your hat to be, you'll tie it on the other side. I thought we were going to have to cast off as we went through smaller near the top. No, we're just gathering. Would I make you do something that difficult? Look how pretty that is, though. Isn't it gorgeous? It fits good. It's nice and loose, but it's not loose. That's what I was going to say. It's nice fitting. Because we made it really flexible, it will stretch to the amount it needs to stretch to and still remain firm on your head. So cute. Look how cute that is. And if you wanted to, if you're a pom-pom person, you could put a pom-pom on it. Can you put it on Debbie to see it on her? Yes, go ahead and bring the big screen back up. There we go. There's my hat. Comes down nicely over my ears. It fits just right on top. Generally, there is not a pom-pom maker in the store. If you wanted one, I can get you one because they do sell them. I just haven't stocked them. Yes, the cancer patients for the nice soft hats to keep their heads. Yeah. No, don't say pom-pom, Annette said. So there we go. There's our beautiful hat. What time is it, Margie?
It is 6:30.
It's 6:30 right on. Do you guys want to?
It's 6:35.
Do you guys want to see how to do this yarn, or you want me to wait? We can do it either way. It won't take me long to show you what you need to do differently, but I don't want to keep you longer without permission. Or we can do it next week. We can make the whole hat next week if you want to, or we can move on and we can make some Valentine cards next week. You guys tell me what you want to do.
Tim's answer is please wait.
Please wait. Okay.
Kathy said yes, but
Yes.
I'm not sure what the yes
Is the yes wait till next week, or is the wait show me quickly?
I'd
It's
rather
kind of-
wait till next week.
Oh, Sharma says they have pom-pom makers at the Dollar Tree. I haven't seen them. I might have to ask Bryce to pick me one up. Truly, I've never made a pom-pom.
The girls had to go to bed.
Okay, well, let's wait then. Let's wait.
You can also make a pom-pom maker with a
Cardboard.
piece of cardboard.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do if you guys want to do this. Do you guys want to make another hat using this? I will tell you that this is going to be half the time of making it tonight because of two things. One is I've already shown you a lot of the basics so we can kind of pick up and run with it. And two, it only takes half as many. Now they're still voting. It only takes half as many rounds to finish it because this yarn is so chunky. Okay. Please do it now. Please, let's make let's make hats, please. You're so impatient. Do you okay, I need one and we're just going to take one quick vote and then we're going to call it good because I'm wasting time with this, just with the dialogue and trying to figure out what everybody's saying. One is do it now. Two, vote is do a separate session next week and actually build a hat. Yes, ask for the chunky yarn too. I will send you a link to the chunky yarn so you can see it. There's a vote. Okay, give me your votes, guys. We're going to tally up. Even if you've already expressed an opinion, do it now with a 1 or a 2. 1 or a 2. I have 1 vote for each. Everybody vote what you want to do. 2 is next week, and that's voting. Susan's voting 2. One, two. Okay, your job to tally up, Margie. There was a 1 and a 2 out of sight now.
Twice, though. Yeah, I know. But we're not going to count your 1 twice, Kathy.
Kathy, girl and girl's cheating. Boy, I had no idea we had so many viewers tonight. Okay.
And I know that Kim had asked for a wait, so she might not be on or not, but I think we're 5.
Can I vote for Steve? He said 2.
In that case, Dennis wants a vote. He said 2. Nobody would have said 2.
We can have some more fun next week and do the same. Do. Roberta says now. Okay. You guys are so funny. I will tell you if you decide you want to buy your yarn while the big sale's on. Okay. All right. We're going to wait. What was the vote?
1 is 3 and 2 is 5.
Okay.
If I count Kim.
Yep.
Which
Okay.
I know
Me is a
Steve
2.
said I counted yours.
All right. I think we're going to go ahead and finish tomorrow next week. If you want to buy the chunky yarn, it's called Faux. Go for Faux.
You can put a link down
Go,
making
yeah, that'd be
that.
good. Margie will put a link on here. This yarn is not inexpensive. This will not be an inexpensive hat. This is the one you make for you. This is the one you make for your mom. This is the one you make for, somebody that you really want to do something extra special for. It takes 2 of these to make a hat. You will have about a half a skein left. Do not throw those extras, because as we know, we can use those extras to make a pieced hat, which is so cool. So, okay, this could turn on another January 6th vote. Okay, we've decided we're waiting till next week. For this weekend, we are doing something.
Definitely something. Valentine card.
This weekend, we're doing the issue 88 kit. This is going to be our Valentine's cards. We'll have musical notes. We'll have die cut papers that we can punch out. We're going to make beautiful layered cards. There we go. So there is the link to the faux fur yarn, and you can whip in and pick that up, saving an extra 80 cents a skein on that. So that would be good to get your yarn for next week. This one, in case you're wondering what this is the one called Tiger. I have several of them here. This is the one called Lynx. I love this one. Black. This is called Mink here. This is called Red Panda. And this one, you can't really tell too much on camera. This is white with just a tinge, a very light tinge of blue. It's very pretty. They also come in poodle pink. And I think that's almost all of them. There's a white snow. White. I don't remember what white's called, but they're animal names mostly. No animals were harmed in the making of these yarns. They're all synthetic, but they are luxurious. Can you get the faux fur at the Dollar Tree? Yeah, that would be really nice. No, you can't get this yarn at the Dollar Tree. So we'll all be storming the Dollar Tree tomorrow. But this is just the cat's meow. This is the luxury aisle here. This is warm, cozy, soft, wonderful. These are your giftables. This is I'm keeping it for me hat. I told my daughter I was thinking about sending her this one. She said, "Mom, it looks so good on you. You have to keep that one." So I might have to keep that one. She liked it with my silver hair on all the colors. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Are there any questions on making this? Is there anything that was unclear to you? Was it as easy as I said it would be? Did you guys enjoy this?
Tension is definitely the key.
Tension is the key. It is that is a truth, Susan. Yeah. It's the most important thing I can say to you is keep your tension light. I think I'll send an email to Deb with my mic, and then you know what I should do next. Yes, I will definitely do that. If you want the loom set, guys, write to me right away. I'd like to order those tomorrow so I can get those out the door to you guys as quickly as possible. So please do write to me soon if you want the loom set. And again, with the looms, you're going to get all 4 sizes of the looms. You're going to get 3 rolls of dollar store yarn. You're going to get a tool. You're going to get a needle. You're going to get, like I said, the 3 rolls of yarn, and you're going to get an idea book that is thrown in from the For What It's Worth department. This was a $15 book. You might even still find it on the shelves in some places. I think ours is like half of that price.
Yeah, and we have quite a few that we can.
Yeah, I think ours is like half of that price if you just buy it outright, but it's included in your kit.
If I recall,
right now.
Brittany just said that she was putting some on. I don't
Yeah.
know if she got it on.
She did put that on. We'll have to see whether it's visible.
Kidding, so let's see if we can find it.
Thank you, Kathy girl. Okay, if there are there any questions at all from you guys about what we're doing and how we're doing it? Next week we'll make a scarf. I'll have Bryce take a picture of my hat so you can see. Yours will not be multicolored. This is the only one of the faux fur ones I have right now, though, because I gave all the rest of them away for Christmas. I did make some for my family members, but I gave those away. So we'll make this one next week. You guys have a good evening. If there's no other questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom, write to me if you want your loom set. Be sure you take advantage of the 10% off sale through midnight tomorrow. Short or long scarf. What I will show you when we do this one, since this hat won't take any time, we'll quickly finger knit a scarf to match it next week. How's that? We'll finger knit a cowl. Okay, we'll see you guys at 2 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday. That's 5 p.m. Eastern time. Your time zone will be anywhere in between. Thank you, Mary R. Leave a thumbs up if you didn't do so already. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss any of the fun. And we will see you later. For now, I'm going to say good night, Gracie.